Everybody, welcome back. This is step 3 of the off video. Today I have with me Daisy. Daisy is a 8.5-year-old Sheltie, and it just so happens that Daisy's my dog. So the first 2 lessons that we went through, the hand exercise, the floor exercise, were just kind of to let you know, let the dog know rather, how to associate the word off with the behavior that we're trying to teach. You know, off, back away from the object. Really didn't have any real life application just by doing those 2 little exercises. So this is what this is. Today is the exercise where we're going to put this into real world exercise. So, got Daisy here with me, and I've got a plate of mozzarella cheese here. And I'm going to put down the cheese, and I'm going to ask Daisy to off. Now, once again, I'm looking for, just like we did in the first 2 videos, I'm looking for her to back up, sit down, and or give me a look. Actually, anything other than moving forward towards the food on the floor. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to tell Daisy off. Now, you notice I've got her on leash. You have to have your dog on leash when you start to practice these in the beginning. What you don't want to do is get too close to the item and then pull your dog backwards, okay? You want to have them on leash so that you can restrain them from going any further, but not use the leash to drag them backwards, okay? So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to tell Daisy off. Daisy, off. Okay. Now, she's pretty good at this. I'm just looking for a look. I've trained her to give me a lot of looks when she wants something. So immediately she looks up at me. I'm going to try to entice her a little bit here to be a little bit naughty. So she's staring at it. Okay, so what I want you to notice is Daisy off. As soon as she hears the off command, she took a step back and she looked at me. We've got company too. Okay, and I'm going to reward her with something equal or better. So in this case, I've got a little piece of chicken. So and then I'm going to move the item, just like we did in that floor exercise. I'm going to move this dish around a little bit. I'm going to let her get a little bit interested. Daisy, off. So that you notice she kind of moved forward. I didn't jerk her back away from it. I just held the leash so that she couldn't go any further towards it. Okay, so Daisy, off. As soon as she hears the word off, she immediately looks up at me. And then I say, thank you, and take it. Okay? Now we're going to up the ante a little bit. And I'm going to put down a bowl of chicken. So, once again, when you're doing this exercise, you want to have something of equal value to reward the dog with, or better. So in this case, it's equal. In the first little exercise there, I was using cheese. She would much rather have the chicken. So we're gonna go for chicken this time, and then I'm gonna reward her with chicken when she backs away. So here we go. Daisy, off. Immediately she looks at me. Off. She looks at me. Okay. And I'm gonna reward her. Good girl, take it. Now I'm gonna move around here a little bit. Make it look a little different just by moving around. Daisy, off. Good. She gives me a look. And take it. Alright, so far you've noticed that I've used a couple of different things, and this is important. When you're doing this with your own dog, especially with puppies, like I said earlier in one of the videos, puppies have a propensity to want to pick up stuff and run down the hall with it. Dirty socks, your cell phone, they get into plants a lot when they're young. So, whatever it is your dog's been getting into, you want to practice with those things on leash. Remember, make sure that your dog is on leash. So you want to practice with a variety of things. This helps the dog to generalize that off means off, no matter what the item is. Okay? It could be dirty socks, it could be a cell phone or remote control, plant another animal. It could be a child. You could have your dog, if a dog's jumping on a kid, you could tell your dog to off, and hopefully if you've done your homework, the dog will just back away. Okay, so any item, it can be anything or anybody, you can use this with. Now we're going to up the ante a little bit. I'm going to put down a bowl of cat food. It's been my experience over the years that no dog can resist cat food, especially the wet food. Okay, so I'm going to put this down and I'm going to ask Daisy to be off. She backs up, lies down, sits down, and or looks at me. I've trained her to look at me for anything that she wants. So anything like that is going to get her rewarded. Okay, so I'm going to put it down, I'm going to tell her off. If she looks at me, I'm going to reward her with chicken. Okay, immediately, she's not even going for it. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to bring her up to it a little bit closer. Off. Good. Now you notice I didn't jerk her away. I just have the leash so that if she goes towards the item, I just restrain her. Daisy, off. Good. She gives me a look, I reward her. Off. She gives me a look, I reward her. And once again, I'm going to move the item a little bit, make it look a little bit different to the dog every time I move it, just like we did with the floor exercise. Off. Good. She looks at me, she gets rewarded. I'm going to hold it in my hand and tell her off. Okay, Daisy, off. I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to put it right up to her nose and tell her off. Off. She looks at me. I'm going to give her some of this food. Okay. Once again, I'm going to hold it right up to her nose. Daisy, off. Off. Daisy, off. She looks at me, I'm going to give her a little bit of this cat food. One good way to really prove what you've done so far with your off cue is to either put their food down and tell them off, or you should be able to make a sandwich, put it on the coffee table. You forgot to pick up your soda when you're in the kitchen. Tell your dog off. You should be able to walk into the kitchen, come back without your dog touching your food that's been lying on the table. So we're going to kind of do a little demo here similar to that. I don't have the exact same setup, but I'm going to try it here with Daisy. So I'm going to put this down. This is her regular dog food. And have her sit first. I'm going to tell her off, and then I'm going to walk out of the room. Daisy, off. I'm going to come back and reward her. So that's a good way to prove your dog. If you can put a sandwich or something down, walk out of the room, tell your dog off, and come back and still have that sandwich sitting on the coffee table, that pretty well confirms that your dog has a pretty good off at that point. So hopefully you guys have been doing your homework. You've done the steps 1 and 2. Follow up here with step 3. And good luck.